there, my wonderful horse soldiers. I'm Tomoe Umari, and I'm here to teach you about what it's like to be a VTuber in the military. Now, I know what you're thinking. Isn't that a bit too niche, a little too specific maybe? Well, that's what makes it interesting. It's my life, yeah. Let's dive in. First and foremost, if you're currently considering typing, thank you for your service. In the comments, thank you for your support. But not just for my military service, no. That goes for my VTuber work as well. Especially so, in fact, since I love what I do and I'm glad that I can entertain so many people. It's truly heaps of fun. Okay, so for starters, a question that I've gotten many times over the years that I've been a VTuber is whether or not I'm allowed to stream while in the military. Would I get in serious trouble if anyone found out? Am I only allowed to do so because I'm a recruitment psyop or something of that nature? Kind of a crazy one, but okay. Either way, I'm more than happy to shed some light on these subjects. As an important matter of distinction, the Umarmy is my community name. When split, it reads as Umarmy or Horse Army. Thanks for making that more clear, by the way, Umamusume. I don't represent the US military in any official capacity, nor would I want to, quite frankly. It'd limit what I'm able to do and say much more than you might think. The Umarmy is seriously cool though. I mean, we have our own camouflage pattern, our own mascot, and it's just a whimsical and fun place where all are welcome. What could be better than that, huh? Also, there's no officers, as I am the SM²U, aka the Stable Master Sergeant Major of the Umarmy, and I'm free to do whatever I please, so, sweep the sunshine, mop the rain, that's how it ought to be. I run a tough stable around here. Then there's also a matter of legality. Yes, what I'm doing is legal. If I started doing something like discussing politics though, it'd be a little iffy since service members aren't supposed to publicly do so. It'd kind of be a big no-no, you know? Military law and all. I also try to maintain a degree of professionalism by not making NSFW content and by being courteous to others in general, though truth be told, it's also my nature since I don't have any desire to make sexy content, and I don't particularly favor jokes that are made at the expense of others. Also, before anyone says, Tomoe, you swear like a sailor though. You've clearly never met a sailor before, you silly fucking goose. Now let's talk about what made me decide to take this path. Everyone's got a reason for wanting to be a VTuber. Money, fame, world domination perhaps, all of the above even. Well, in my case, it's a tad more peculiar. You see, people in the military have all sorts of hobbies ranging from games to cars to, you guessed it, anime. Yeah. It's a lot more popular than you'd think in the service, especially since you don't exactly get bullied for enjoying it anymore like back in the old days. My thought years back was that if I became a VTuber, aka something anime-like, it'd resonate with a lot of my fellow service members. That way I could help lift their spirits and raise their morale since a lot of my people are pretty damn depressed. I also really like anime myself and have since I was a little horse, so that helps too. Yippee! Wahoo! Anime! I never could have imagined that my silly little hobby that I did in my spare time would grow to be something I'm extremely passionate about, nor that it helped make so many people just a little bit happier and more motivated. It's had its ups and downs over the years for me, since I've been fumbling my way through it like a baby deer, and I got diagnosed with PTSD a while back. But through it all, I've been adamant on never giving up. I've got this stubborn determination thing down pat, you see. I guess they don't call it horsepower for nothing. Get it? Because, no? Okay. As far as my military career journey goes, I started streaming as a little junior enlisted horse back in the barracks, and now I'm a big tough horse sergeant with troops of my own. It's great because now I don't have to worry about noise from my neighbors, annoying roommates, or a random heavy knock at my door while I'm midstream. Trust me, the thought of that put me in a state of constant fear. At least somewhere in the back of my head anyways. It eventually just became one of those, I'll deal with it if it comes up sort of things. Such awe-inspiring bravery, isn't it? That aside, there's a lot of misconceptions that come with being a VTuber in the military. This is in particular because a lot of people genuinely have no idea what people in the military actually do. I think they just assume it's like in the movies or something. Which, you know, is fair since I didn't really know much until I joined myself. But I'm not a skilled fighter, I don't know everything under the sun about guns, I don't have dozens of confirmed sniper kills, actually, that about covers it. Just don't go off saying, shouldn't you be familiar with this if you're in the military, unless you're really confident about it, or you'll sound like a huge dummy. Also, for the record, if anyone has ever confidently told you what branch I'm in, what job I have, what deployments I've been on, or anything about my service other than the fact I'm active duty and turn wrenches, they're wrong, because I've never mentioned anything besides these two things, and the finer details of my career aren't what any of this is about. This whole VTubing thing is about bringing people together from all walks of life and supporting both service members and civilians alike. And horses, yeah, horses too. Definitely horses. Can't forget about those guys. In that same regard, a lot of people have asked me why it is that I adamantly refuse to discuss the specifics of my career. I mean, what's the harm in it, right? What could possibly go wrong, realistically speaking? That attitude is simply no good, in my opinion. Revealing specific information could very well make it easier to narrow down what base I'm stationed at, which in turn would easily narrow down my specific place of work. Then someone would probably try to ring up my chain of command to try and embarrass or humiliate me. Hell, someone might even show up and try to assassinate me while I'm leaving work one day. You never know! It's not like I can just uproot and move somewhere else if I'm ever found, so I personally prefer to err on the side of caution. Once that info is out there, you can never take it back. Speaking of which, you might also be curious about whether or not my coworkers are aware that I'm a VTuber. The answer is yes and no. There's a few people I trust that have known for a long time, but I don't exactly make it a habit to yell what I do in my free time from the rooftops. So long as it doesn't interfere with me performing my duty to Uncle Sam, it's quite frankly no one's concern to begin with. I'd also like to make it clear that I am in fact a very patriotic person. I love my country, even if I don't always agree with what's happening in it. I mean, I've been serving it for long enough to see a lot of different things unfold, so logically it wouldn't really make sense for me to agree with every single one of those things, now would it? Even so, I enjoy the enriching history of the United States and what it stands for. Bald eagles, colorful explosions, freedom, and everything else of the sort. That I will never back down on, because we stand up for our beliefs in these parts. How do I even find time for any of this though? I mean, doesn't the military keep you super busy training to fight bad guys or doing mundane work like you're living out the filler episode of an anime? To be honest, it really depends on your job. As a wrench turner, I do stay late many days and sometimes I have to cancel my streams over it. There's also concerns of deployment and such, but I'd let my fans know if anything like that was of imminent concern. So while it's not as chill as a cushy office job, I can still squeeze in time in the day to do what I love. It may then come as no surprise that time management is actually a pretty big part of it. I have to sacrifice a lot of time that would otherwise be spent socializing and touching grass, though fortunately I'm an introvert, so I'm not really too torn up about it. There's always work to do, and I do almost everything myself since I'm very stubborn when it comes to relying on others. Over time though, through trial and error, I've found a way to operate efficiently, and now I'm an excellent manager to myself. If you're in the military and considering streaming as well, just make sure that you know what you're getting yourself into. It's one hefty uphill battle. Lastly, I've often been asked, hey Tomoe, what about me, huh? Should I join the military? To which my answer is, and always has been, why are you asking a horse how to live your life? Why? Okay, no, it's actually, don't do it unless you're 100% sure it's what you want to do. It's a big commitment and you're almost guaranteed to come out of it mentally or physically damaged in some way. So if nothing else, you ought to make sure that you're using that time to better your life in some way and make the most of the benefits afforded to you. If you plan on joining soon, you have my support. If you don't, you have my support as well, honestly. You should definitely join the Umarmy no matter what though. I promise I'm not the least bit biased. So that's more or less my story as a VTuber in the military. I've gone through many stages of character development and I feel like I've learned a lot along the way. Once my contract is over here soon, I promise I'll dedicate even more time, love, and energy to my projects as a VTuber. I wish I could say I enlisted for some big noble goal to begin with, but admittedly it was primarily for education benefits, which is honestly a pretty common reason nowadays. Despite my reason though, it's been a fulfilling experience and I have no regrets. I mean, I'd probably still be a whole lot more awkward and shy otherwise. Hell, I might not have even started VTubing. That's a very real possibility as well. I also don't regret becoming a military-themed VTuber in particular. Sure, I could have hidden my military status and avoided the hurtful recruitment psyop allegations and other hateful accusations from people who hate service members, but I'm not ashamed of who I am and I'm glad I could bring the folks in my community together. Many are just here because I'm a goofy tomboy horsewoman too though, which is totally a-okay. I'm a very layered, complex woman and there's much to behold. Will I ultimately be able to make a big difference as a VTuber someday? Honestly, I don't know. It's still too early to know for sure. What I know now is that deciding to become a VTuber is one of the best decisions that I've ever made in my life, and I'm glad so many people have chosen to take time out of their chaotic days to partake in my content and support me. You guys are epic. My ride or die. Get it? Because if you enjoyed this video, be sure to drop a like and consider subscribing to enlist in the Umarmy if you haven't already. I'll see you all around. Bye bye.